For all things great iron and hard top, it's Kev Lewis since the Sandbox.
Since the Sandbox YouTube fans, it's been a little bit, but we're back. Had to just focus on the podcast for a week, so definitely happy to be back on the YouTube. Before I go on, gotta shout out the beautiful, the one, the only Danielle Elliott. I got my new Eli Manning autograph over here. Shout out for 300K.
Eli Manning.
Now. Kev, you like Jake
Scrub.
Scrub. But guys, today we have a special episode for you guys. We are going to be talking about our NFL schedule reaction. You know, kind of talking about some of the best games, the worst games, and what they could mean for some teams. And I'll hop in first. The earliest game that I think kind of played, you know, the biggest value, and I want to take away, you know, the obvious game-setting thing in Week 4, and that's the Bucs and Pats. I feel like everyone was going to talk about that being one of the bigger ones. But this is actually a different game. It's a NFC West game. We got the Cardinals and the Rams, and I feel like that's really going to show us a lot about who the Cardinals are right now and who the Rams are right now.
Yeah.
The Rams are playing with a new quarterback, so when everyone's expecting them to go in and have like a powerhouse of a season, that's when it can really get a little fidgety. You know, Stafford might not get, you know, the playbook all right away. And Arizona's kind of had the same core for a little bit now, so we don't have much more time to sit there and wait for them to, you know, flip the switch. Yeah. So that's a great game to look forward to in Week 4.
Yeah, honestly, this game I think is like the biggest sleeper of the year. Takes place Week 16, San Fran at Tennessee.
Woo!
I feel like those two teams are like so similar because like they both have quarterbacks that no one believes in that are like journeymen, but they're all both run heavy and defense heavy and have like two young uprising coaches, but they're on opposing conferences. And I just think down the end of the line, it'll be close with the Colts in Tennessee, and I think it'll be close with San Fran and L.A. Yeah. So that's a big game late in the season.
Oh, it definitely is. And Lou, a question, you know, a 49ers fan or just an NFL fan may ask is that Trey Lance time at that point in time for San Francisco? Who knows? And someone could obviously, you know, debate the argument that Ryan Tannehill probably peaked in his career already.
Definitely.
That year or two ago with the Titans, you know, I mean,
keep the Pats upbeat.
Could have been his sailing, honestly. So definitely interesting to see what happens there. I'm going to hop in with another game, and then, Kev, you can run through a couple of yours. And this one actually occurs on Halloween, so Week 8 of the NFL season. I feel like we're going to learn a lot about the AFC East at this point in time, and it's Miami at Buffalo. And I think after 8 weeks, we'll definitely be able to tell a lot about Tua.
I just got a sick graphic idea for that.
Nice.
Kids
Stay
creaming.
tuned. But Buffalo should be able to handle business at home. So if they can't, that's going to tell a lot for that division and what goes on in the AFC East.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up the Bills. Because obviously,
of course,
stick to what I know. Have a bunch of Bills games on here.
Yeah.
So obviously, two of them are the Bills-Pats games, right? Obviously, those are probably going to be the two biggest division games for both those teams. Besides maybe the Dolphins, obviously too. But expect good games. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to sit here and say that either team's going to sweep either team because I think they're both going to be good games. The Pats are gearing up to make an AFC East run again. You know what I mean? Like, Bill's not playing around, bro. You know what I mean? So it's going to be two good games. But the big game that I want to talk about, and a game that I think could very well be the AFC Championship, is the Bills-Chiefs game. I expect that to be a great game. Obviously, you know, I've been saying that I do think the Chiefs kind of are going to take a little bit of a step back just because I think they're going to be a little bit rattled off the Super Bowl loss. But I do think, I mean, that's a Week 5 game, so that'll be early in the season, you know what I mean? And we know the Chiefs always start off hot. We know how they are. I mean, they won, 30 games in a row or something like that, like something crazy. So if they can bounce back and be the Chiefs that they're known to be, I think it's going to be it's going to be a very close game either way, but I'd love to see Buffalo pull that out early in the season. I think that'll be a huge moral win for them, and obviously huge when it comes to, you know, playoff seeding and stuff like that too. So
They'll get beat.
Pats are going to beat the Colts.
Not a chance. The Bills will
you heard it
the
here
Pats
first.
will beat the Bills twice, though.
Ooh,
that's bold.
Well, Kev, I'm happy you just mentioned the Pats at the Colts because that's actually another one of my games. I feel like we don't know you guys. I feel like we're gonna learn a lot about the Pats, and by week 15, we'll know a lot about Carson Wentz at that.
Definitely.
At that time.
It'll be in or out. Like it'll be established over like can he play in his head? Is his head right? Or like is he just not there and is like Jacob Eason taking over? That's really what it's gonna be.
But while I shout out that pick, I got to shout out my friend, my homie since the Sandbox. Guys, if you can read my hoodie, you guys can check it out on
Trust
ABG.
the process, enjoy the journey, and always be grateful.
So shout out to
Wise
Marina,
words
Varano,
from a
the
wise
Marina
soul.
Varano. Shout out Nico, Michelle.
Shout out the
Nick,
whole fam.
Shout out the fam.
Let's go.
It's definitely a comfortable hoodie, so you can go and get yours at abg.com. Always be grateful, guys. We can always be grateful for something. So,
Since the Sandbox.
yeah.
Be
Definitely
grateful when you
for
see
that.
both Mishas together because it's always a good time.
Definitely
Mish squared.
there's definitely some Tito's getting consumed there.
100%.
But one of you guys, why don't you jump us in with another game?
So week 5, honestly, I think could have like 2 of the best games of the year with Bills and KC, and then Ravens at the Colts.
Ooh.
We had to go there and play, so
Yep.
they're gonna come here this year. So Ty, Tony, it's on.
Oh!
This is probably gonna be my favorite game of the year because it's where teams are getting their stride, and like this could be a big turning point. Like if the Colts are 2-2 or the Ravens are 1-3 or vice versa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a big game. Like you can't let that go that early. Like
So-
you gotta win it.
Lou, would you rather go to Baltimore than Philly?
In football?
Yeah.
No. I'll go to Philly all day, dude. They're looking at a solid 5 for wins this
Yeah,
season.
maybe
Hey,
five.
they'll be lucky if they get 5. For real.
That's what I was guessing Steve had them at was 5 wins. So.
Hey, honestly, we got our NFL schedule predictions coming to you guys soon. We just did the NFL rundown for the summer. It's going to be interesting. I'm starting some of mine, and I'll give you guys a little hint. I have Indy beating Baltimore week 5. So, Anthony, if you watch this, please, when I'm next year,
Damn,
don't
bro.
punch me.
Damn, Tony. That's a bad
We're coming
hit,
for
bro.
all the birds.
That's a bad
The
hit.
Seahawks.
But the Eagles, I don't know. Unless the Eagles can make some changes, I can't. I'm not buying into their leader in Sirianni. Lou. I'm just not.
I'm not either, bro.
He's had a couple of bad press conferences. I must.
He's
say.
got the gay size.
Yeah. But you guys have another schedule reaction?
Yes, I have one more.
Let's hear it.
So we mentioned the Bucks-Pats game, but no one's showing love to my Bills-Bucks game. You know what I mean? This is going to be a really good game, Bills-Bucks. I feel like Josh Allen will have a chip on his shoulder, you know what I mean? You're playing the guy that just literally ran your division for the last 20 years, you know what I mean? You're going to have somewhat of a chip on his shoulder. And, everyone wants to beat Tom Brady, you know what I mean? He's the GOAT. Everyone wants to beat the GOAT. And I think this will be a competitive game. I mean, people are talking about the Pats and the Bucks being a competitive game, and I get it. It's at Gillette, blah, 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 Tom Brady coming back. But, right now, going into the season, the Bills are the better team, so I tend to think this is going to be just as competitive, you know what I mean? This is going to be a really good game, and I'm amped to see, and that's Week 13 again, so that could be, a make-or-break game for some of these teams. If they're flirting with, a playoff spot, you never know what's going to happen, so this could be a big game.
Yeah, my only problem with the Bills going against those good teams is they all clearly got better, but outside of Emmanuel Sanders, where did the Bills get better? Everyone's gonna see okay, we see Josh Allen does this and Diggs does this.
They'll
their
go out and
defense
get a
can only
bag.
do that. So you gotta pull out at least the Pats. It's they have a whole new squad. The Pats are ready to play, dude.
Yeah.
They legit have the goon squad.
I was just going to say, they did drank some stuff, and they turned into the Toon Squad real quick. But, yeah, the Buffalo definitely had a lot of questions to answer on defense, too. A game I had to give a shout-out for before I talk about my last couple schedule reactions. KC Green Bay, I mean, we don't know what Green Bay is going to be like, right? So we could be seeing, Kansas City going against the former MVP in a shootout. That would be awesome. That's primetime television right there. But that could be, Jordan Love playing against, the new GOAT or whatever you consider Patrick Mahomes now.
Dude.
Yeah, for real. But in week 17 and 18, I think there's going to be a couple of interesting games for the Steelers. We have the Browns and Steelers playing in week 17. And
Good game.
Their game the following week is Steelers at Ravens. So imagine those two division games back to back. And Lou, I think you made an interesting point too when you were talking about your Colts a little bit earlier, because they always put those division games later in the season. I feel like when you see that on the schedule, it's okay, those are going to be the two top dogs fighting it out on week 17, 18 now that we're talking with the extended season. And week 18, I didn't mention it once. I didn't mention the Giants once in this entire episode. Week 18, we have the Washington football team in New York, and that's the game that we get in the playoffs and get rid of this drought, this playoff.
You think that's
I
see? I feel like the Giants might lock it up sooner than that. Honestly,
I hope so.
but you never know.
I'm scared.
With
that
the
defense,
AFC East, you never know.
How about them Cowboys?
the Cowboys.
Dacky boys coming, Steven. I don't
Yeah, he's
know,
on
bro.
the-
They're locked and loaded.
Look, I'm worried about Washington. I think that we can duke it out with Dallas.
The
I'm
Washington
worried about
who?
Washington.
The Washington what?
Hey, I honestly think Fitzpatrick might be able to win some games with them. Well, Heineke, with that defense, anything's possible. They invested in it in the draft again.
My guy Terry McLaurin too.
My only problem with Washington and why I think Dallas will finish ahead of them is you went from the safest quarterback in the game, Alex Smith, to a dude
gunslinger.
who literally turns it over every 4 passes.
Yeah.
So it's how well and how much of that defense, not a fluke, but everyone's gonna be ready for Chase Young. Everyone's gonna be ready for their defense and what they bring in. It's I don't know. I like the Giants and Cowboys a little more than the Redskins, but we'll see.
What's your favorite, Lou? Give us a favorite.
In the NFC East,
The East.
I'll go Giants.
Yes, sir. That's what I
I'm
want to hear, Lou. Kev, I don't need to hear you.
I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, of course.
Cowboys are gonna have 10 wins this season.
Yeah!
Oh, come on.
I'll give them 9.
Can't be hearing that. But guys, go check out our podcast. Shout out Danielle for the dope helmet. Shout out Marina with the dope hoodie.
Shout out Lou with the body armor light.
We're not sponsored. We're not sponsored.
Not yet, but Body Armor, hit us up.
If you see this, let me know.
Don't demonetize us, please.
Right. Guys, go to our website, sandbox.net. Check us out. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, comment, do whatever on the YouTube. You know the deal. 5 stars. Episode 250. The Quill Podcast Awards. It's all coming here.
Vote. You got nothing better to do.
For real, nothing better to do.
For all things great iron and hard top, it's Kev Lewis since the Sandbox.